What's up? This is another success story interview. In this video, I talked to Jaron, who has a niche site that is about 4 months old. He's already hit the $100 per month threshold. This is super impressive because Jaron is actually a beginner. He just discovered Amazon affiliate sites in the last like 5 to 6 months or so. So let's get to the interview now and hear the tips that Jaron has for you and just part of his story. So this is super impressive. I almost forgot, if you're not on the email list, you should check it out. Go to nichesiteproject.com and hit the green button, enter your email address. I'll send you all my templates, a bunch of other guides, and 15,000 keywords. So if you're interested in Amazon affiliate marketing, you should definitely check it out. Jaron, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks, Doug.
So you emailed me a few probably weeks ago and you were like, hey, I got an interesting story and I wanted to hear more. And that's why we're sitting here today. So I want to get to the punchline quickly. Can you just tell me
Sure.
the results on your site, kind of, hit the traffic and then the revenue, and then we'll back into the interesting part of the story.
Sure. Yeah. I started my website at like the end of November after I found your channel and Income School's channel. I had no experience with blogging or with writing. Picked kind of a weird niche, I think, which I think has worked out well for me. We can talk about that more later. But so I'm just not even quite 4 months in total. And I took the latter half of December and the first half of January off completely. I didn't write a single post, and I'd only written about maybe 15 or 20 posts prior to that. But like maybe 30 days or so ago, the website, even only being a few months old, really started to take off. A few of my articles started ranking really well for terms with pretty low monthly search volume, but I was getting really good daily traffic, like 30, 40, 50 page views a day. Yeah, for really small keywords, but I was the featured snippet for a lot of those, and so I was getting a lot of traffic.
Wow.
So I think maybe like 30 days ago, it started to kind of take off, and I was getting like 100, 200 page views a day, and then it's just been quickly climbing. So the last week, just from organic traffic, I've been getting like 500 page views a day. Today, I think will be my best day. I think when I checked it right before we got on this call, it's about 420 right now, and I'm at like 460 page views. So today is a big day because I just had a keyword that just skyrocketed to number one for a fairly large term.
Cool.
And for 720 monthly. So yeah, so today I'll probably do 600-ish. It's monetized with Amazon primarily. So far, I've made just under $300
Okay.
In total, most of that in the last couple weeks-ish.
Okay.
I've made about $60 from ClickBank. I've made about $20 from a share sale affiliate program. Then I made like $10 from like this company's own affiliate program because they don't have Amazon stuff. So I'm not even quite 4 months in. So
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet. That's amazing. Everything sounds really, you're on a good trajectory and just about as fast as I've seen any person like start up, especially without any experience. So that's
Yeah.
amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
All right. So we're going to get into some of the like more interesting details and some of the
Yeah.
strategic stuff in a second, because I want to hear some of your background. So where are you
Yeah.
from? What was your day job? What did you study in school? Did you go to
Mhm.
school? All that stuff. So you can just lay it
Okay,
out.
sure. Let's see. So I went to school in Southern Idaho. I went there for business and politics, actually. Got a consulting job right out of college that didn't work well for me. I was kind of isolated and on the road a lot, and it just wasn't a good situation. So I quit that, and when my wife and I got married almost 6 years ago, moved up here to North Idaho, where her family's from, and I took over like a local IT company that just did like IT consulting for like small businesses and homes, really basic stuff like networking stuff and setting up people's iPhones and really simple stuff. So I did no schooling, but I was pretty adept with IT stuff. And then one of the clients I had for that business, a biotech company, but pretty small one, needed more full-time IT help. And so I work full-time for that company now in IT. And some web stuff. They have like kind of an e-commerce store and kind of a website, but nothing like this, not this type of like blogging or this type of monetization. So I was fairly familiar with setting up a WordPress site and doing some of that stuff. So I got to skip past that learn, but I'm not a talented writer at all, I wouldn't say. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am now. I work full time for an IT company, and my wife and I just had our first kid.
Congrats.
Thank you. 8 months ago. So, and then I also have a little part-time job. So pretty busy overall.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds very busy.
But I'm trying to shift a little bit more time to this because it's fun and exciting for me. So
Yeah. I find that it's pretty cool to, learn something new. And this has the added benefit of like a hobby that can generate money versus a lot of my other hobbies just make the money evaporate, like beer brewing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't save money
yeah.
brewing beer. So,
Yeah. I don't have that many hobbies and didn't have that much time for them. So when I found this, it just resonated with me, and yeah, it's going pretty well so far.
very cool. So you just sort of randomly found like niche sites and making money online. Did you have some gateway in? Like for me, I found Smart Passive Income, the podcast, and then sort of meandered around and found all sorts of like this whole other world of making money online. So
Yeah,
how did you find it?
yeah. So totally a similar situation. I didn't find Smart Passive Income. I've since read some of their blogs, but no, I actually found making money online. I was just kind of like at home. I like my job actually, and don't want to quit it. And but money's just tighter than I'd like it to be. So I wanted to find a way to improve that situation. So I found the first thing that I stumbled on with making money online was the trendy Shopify drop shipping method that's really common. So I found a little course on that and did that and had some minor success. But trouble there is it's kind of capital intensive because you're dumping a lot of money into Facebook and kind of hoping for results, and it's really time consuming, and it just didn't resonate with me so and through that guy's course that I kind of did with that, I found affiliate marketing, and through just searching around for affiliate marketing, I found Income School, and through Income School, I found your channel. And after watching, like, I don't know, I stayed up a few nights late just watching tons of YouTube video, just until it just kind of clicked. And then I actually got those guys, the Income School guys, old course. They called it Income School, or I don't even know what they called it at the time. But anyway, so I took their course, pretty basic, just kind of setting up a site. But I did their course, picked a niche that was, we can talk about it more later, but
Sure.
I think a really bad topic now, thinking back, after watching more videos and like picking a niche, it's not product focused at all. In fact, there's not that many products to recommend. But I picked a niche and I just kind of ran with it, and just mostly just found keywords that answered questions that I could,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I
Got it.
don't even remember what the original question was, but there's some more.
Cool.
That was kind of my gateway into affiliate marketing.
Got it. And okay, so you found Shopify a little bit, and then found affiliate marketing, and then I'll give Income School guys a shout out. I don't
know.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we can edit this part out, but I don't know how much you want me to talk about Income School on your channel here. Because I did pay for their course and it kind of got me started, but
Yeah. No, it's totally cool because
okay.
I don't care. It's fine.
Okay. I don't want to like overplug them or something.
No. In fact, yeah, if there's anyone that I would plug, it would be them because they seem more our speed, if I would say it that way.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
I think I've since moved to a lot more of your content, because a lot of stuff they cover, I feel like I'm kind of past.
Yeah, totally.
That's my opinion of their channel, but
sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll give a shout out to the Income School guys here, and I'll put a link. So they're good guys. I interviewed them on the channel, and then they interviewed me. So yeah, those are good guys, and it sounds like, Jaron, they got you a good foundation to start from. Now, the site that we're talking about today, you launched it out of their course, sort of. Is that right?
Yep, okay. I did.
Cool. So walk us through sort of like maybe the first month or two, like how did you, like, not tactical, but like how did you feel going through it? Because I know in that first period, really not much is happening. You're doing probably a lot of work, and you're trying to convince your wife or your spouse or your partner, whoever, right? Like your wife, of course, but like as budding internet marketers, we're trying to tell people about what we're trying to do, and everyone thinks we're insane and we're wasting our time. So just tell us, Jaron, what was it like?
Sure. Yeah. So it was kind of like that, because most of my writing time and most of my course time, because I work full time, and then so most of my time was at night, when it was my wife's turn to put our newborn down. So I had like an hour and a half while she was putting him down, and that was kind of my time to write. And then sometimes after she was done, I would finish the article I was on. But I did lack some motivation, because you finish an article, but there's no one there to read it. So you're just kind of writing to a ghost town, which is kind of demoralizing at times. And a lot of the content I was writing was really boring. So it was not that fun to research or write. But I was like, I'm gonna give this a chance. And then I made it through like 2 weeks of that, writing like one article every night. And then I actually got just really kind of burnt out. And that was when I took like that month-long break. And it was also getting close to Christmas. So I took like a month off after writing like 14 or 15 articles, and then kind of came back in January, partly because the traffic was already starting to pick up, which was like a little bit more exciting. Like, oh, there's going to be someone that might read this article, so I guess I'll write it.
Right.
But yeah. So at first it was kind of tough. And my only experience with kind of making money online was with that Shopify thing. I was selling these ridiculous Harry Potter onesies that I was importing from China and selling on Facebook, and it just seemed like this ridiculous thing that I made no money with. So
now you
yeah,
have like 200 of these onesies you're trying to. No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
because I was just because I was just drop shipping them. But yeah, I lost money overall with that whole experience, and I mean it was probably good for me in the end. But I definitely didn't have like a cheering squad behind me. Not that my wife wasn't supportive, but no one was like expecting this to work, including me. So
Sure.
uh, yeah.
Very good. All right. Yeah. And I think everyone that is in that first, and I made that a shorter period. So we said like 30, 45 days, but really like the first 6 months are a little sketchy, right? Like you don't know what you're doing. You probably are making a lot of mistakes and you don't really know it until afterwards.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty throughout that first period, and a lot of times, I mean, if you can make it past that first 6 months or so, you'll be in great shape because you've learned a lot. And then as long as you didn't make any like irreversible mistakes, you're in good shape. So everyone that is in that early period, just fight past it and you should be all right. Anything to add, Jaron?
I'm in like an online chat group of people in similar situations to me. Most of them a little bit further behind than I am, but a lot of cool people in there. A lot of people like me that are just full time and just trying to make money online. It's actually really interesting and kind of fun to be in there and hear everyone's stories and stuff. But yeah, I think it's been a little bit different for me because my period was much shorter because my website's really already starting to take off really, I think really early in comparison to most,
Yeah.
which is pretty motivating because every day I'm getting 50 to 100 clicks on Amazon, and I'm selling stuff every day, even if it's small, adding people to my email list. And so it feels really motivating now because every day I'm getting traffic, so it feels like people are going to read what I write.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of already past that point where I'm like, okay, this is working, I just got to put more time into it. I just started my second website, taking a short break from the first one. I'm going to kind of grow up a little bit and then come back to this one. So
Got it. So you picked your first niche. Can you sort of tell us how you did like your brainstorming and just some background on it? And you mentioned maybe, it's not the best niche, but it seems to be working okay for you. So tell us what you can. Of course, you're not going to reveal it here or anything like that. So
yeah, man, my brainstorming was kind of weird with it. I kept coming up with ideas and then researching it and feeling like really defeated by what I saw online. I think my first idea was like ultimate home desk things because at the time I wanted to have this really nice like home office desk with like lots of cool features and stuff, and felt like that was really competitive. And then I was going to do like soundproofing because that was something that the income school guys had done like a case study from.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can beat this site, so I was going to do that. And then I noticed, and I've told the guys since then, because they were so public with that case study, there's been some exact replica copies of their content, like 10 of them. So I felt like, okay, well, I'm competing with a bunch of me's out there trying to do the same thing. That feels kind of silly. So then I found something related to the company I work for. And yeah, it's a really interesting niche that I think there's no one like us that's really doing much for it. At least I haven't stumbled across any. Most of the websites that have content for it are really old, really poorly made websites with bad SEO. And even though some of the articles are really well done, I just feel like a lot of the other factors aren't there for them. So I just felt like I could beat them out. I found a lot of keywords that I felt like no one was even trying to answer. Even though there wasn't monthly search volume, they just seemed like reasonable queries. And so I was like, I can write an article on this. And
cool.
So I just went with it, even though it's not a very easily monetizable niche and it's not product oriented at all. It's not like best waffle makers or that kind of website.
Sure.
It's like a really technical area where most of the articles are actually like educational kind of. So
interesting. Well, and I think, one, it's really cool to hear that, there are niches out there where it doesn't look like there are marketers involved in them. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I think I might have gotten a little bit lucky because I haven't found any websites that I felt like I haven't found any websites that are in this area that are just monetizing with Amazon. Most of their articles.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think I found a lucky one.
Okay, and now, because of our conversations before, I know that the keyword golden ratio has been helpful. So if people aren't familiar, I'll put a link so you can learn about, the details of the keyword golden ratio. But can you tell me how the keyword golden ratio, the KGR, like plays a role in the site and the traffic at this point, and sort of just how it's been helpful?
Yeah, so it plays a huge role. In fact, I use it for picking most of my keywords. One thing I worry about with my website is I'm seeing a lot of early success, but that's because I've done a really good job with keyword research attacking really small keywords. I haven't really gone for any of the large keywords in this niche. So I worry a little bit about the longevity. I'm not planting the seed of a really big article for a big keyword and hoping,
Right.
I'm just attacking all the small keywords. And I think in my niche, there's just a lot of them because I've seen in some of your YouTube videos that people are like, oh, it's just, I can never I know the formula, but I can never find the keywords. And for me, it just seemed like almost silly to use the formula sometimes because I could just see almost immediately, just by searching the keyword,
Right.
that no one's actually putting the title, the all-in search title.
Yep.
Yeah, so I just found a ton of those keywords, and I use the KGR whenever I'm doing keyword research. But a lot of the keywords I went after actually had zero monthly search volume. Like any versions of the long tail search had just, I use keywords everywhere for that. And,
Sure.
a lot of them just said they had zero monthly search volume, but it just seemed like a reasonable question.
Right.
So I would answer it. In fact, one of those that I did pretty early on has been one of my biggest. I don't know, it's gotten like 10,000 page views or something now. And it had zero monthly search volume, and I get probably 50 views a day on it. Partly because that keyword and a few variants of it are the featured snippet and the number one search, which is cool. That's pretty motivating because then when you ask like Google Home the question, it says according to my website, and then it gives my answer. I'm like, well, I have influence over some,
Wow.
which feels pretty cool. So yeah, so I just go after really small keywords that I feel like no one's doing a good job answering. And that's how I write like all of my articles.
Wow. And I'm just going to highlight what you just said so
Yeah.
people really, really get it. So your site's like 4 months old, right? 3.5 months old.
Yeah, it'll be 4 months old on the 22nd from when I published my first article.
Cool.
Yeah.
So it's about 4 months old, and you were going out, you had faith in the KGR, even though you don't know me, but you watched a lot of videos, and then you found some zero search volume terms, and you thought, hey, this seems like a reasonable article anyway, even though it says no one's going to search for it. And now that post brings in 40, 50 visitors a day on a good day, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so when we multiply that out, that's like is that 1,500 visitors a month, right? And technically one would expect to get zero. And it's through all the long tail variations that you're not searching for the search volume or that no one knows about. So the point is, we don't have to be greedy. There's a lot of keywords out there. You could go after zero search volume. Now, not all of them are going to work out like that, but some will.
Yeah, and I've gone after a lot of those zero, and I'd say most of them at least get some traffic. I mean, I don't think any of them gotten no traffic. Although, I mean, I've written a lot of articles in the last like 30 days that I've had almost no chance to rank. Interestingly enough, one of those keywords that I wrote just like almost exactly 30 days ago, just like this week, just shot up to like the number 1 or 2 depending on the variant, for a 720 monthly search volume. I went after a much smaller version of the keyword.
Yep.
Not doing good enough research and realizing that I could have been writing for a little bit better one, but I've shot up to the number 2 spot for like a 720 monthly search volume version of it. And today I've gotten like, I don't know, 80. That's part of the reason that today is going so well is it just shot up and I'm getting a ton of page views to it.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah. So.
And I'll tell you something else, right? So you mentioned that you weren't targeting that 720 search volume term, but you started ranking for it. That will happen again and again. And what will happen is you won't intend to rank for the 2,500 or 3,200 search volume, but you'll rank for it anyway because your other article is starting to move up and getting good, I guess, user interaction. So you can go back and add, sort of recalibrate the post so that you're serving, both audiences. And then that's how you can, most people don't stick with me long enough to like get to that part, they're just like, the KGR won't work. But you'll start ranking, and you'll start ranking for stuff
Yeah,
that you didn't mean to with higher search volumes, and that's where
yeah.
like the really cool stuff happens.
Because that was a term that qualified for the KGR with me because I was just searching a lower variant of it because I think it's 240 a month, right? Is
250, yeah.
you search 250 or under, so it was in that range. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a go. But just today I realized it's ranking now for a much higher search volume terms. So
Cool. Now let's switch gears over to content. Sounds like you are writing the content on your own. You started lean in general.
yep.
So how do you approach content? Actually, like you have a topic, you have a term that you're gonna
Mhm.
target. What do you do?
I kind of do I haven't really researched it that much, but I was watching an old interview you did with Dave Fox,
Mhm.
and you guys were talking about the skyscraper method, which I haven't actually researched that much, and I do no outreach portion of it, but I do something similar to that where I just look at like all the people that actually answered the question and just kind of read through. Actually, I was watching your new content video today as well, and you were talking about this. So, and then I just kind of write a conglomerate that's just a better version of all of them, kind of all in my own words, and I'll cite to the ones that I really felt like I took quite a bit from,
Mhm.
but yeah, I just write kind of mostly what I do is just try to write a much longer version than what's best out there. Most of my content is really long. I was looking today, I've written 51 articles on the website and I'm averaging about 1,800 words over that. So I write pretty long articles,
Nice.
which I think I've seen success for because a lot of these really low volume search keywords, people were writing just quick answers and I would write like 1,500 words. Like it seemed ridiculous at the
Right.
time. It seemed like I was blabbering on, but it just kind of worked. So yeah, my content strategies, I just search the best results out there and read them all and kind of bring them all. Sometimes I'll even copy all of them into a document, and then I'll just kind of like read through like the whole thing, and then I just kind of in a separate document kind of rewrite it all in my own words with being able to reference it there on the right hand side until I just kind of come up with a better version of what's out there.
Got it. Got it. And for people that want to do something similar, I have what I call the research paper method, which is essentially that where you do research and then you curate the information, put in your own words, and I mean it's literally how people write books and
Yeah,
how I mean,
and
go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say that's my method, but then your other method is the FAQ method. That's how I add length to articles I feel like are too short. So I'll like do the RPM and write an article. I'm like, oh, it's only 1,200 words. Let's get it to 2,000. And I'll just see like other keywords that are close or other questions that people are answering. I'll check Quora or like other places, and then I'll just like answer a few more
Yep.
questions at the end. I don't put like FAQ, but I'll just like answer a few more questions, and I'll just add a bunch of length to the end that's still relevant.
Sure.
And sometimes I've ranked for some of those subheadings of specific questions on a small topic. So
Yeah, it's
uh,
amazing how that I mean it works because people ask those questions and you can answer them in your post. It's super helpful. So
yeah, and it's always really niched down by then. So sometimes when people like kind of combine all the keywords into one really specific question, then you'll grab those people. So
now, your major in university was history and politics. Is that what you said?
business and politics.
Business and
Yeah, I
politics.
had two bachelor's degrees, one in business administration with an emphasis in finance, and one in political economy.
Gotcha. So, and the reason why I asked that is, did you write a lot in those two majors? Did you end up writing a lot of
Yeah,
papers?
yeah. I mean, I did write a lot of papers. I'm not a very good writer.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I don't personally think I'm a very good writer. I'm not that creative, but I have done a lot of writing in university. So I mean, I did have some experience putting together a paper like that. And a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff in my niche is pretty technical. It takes a lot of research and writing. So I think that probably has helped with that.
Cool. And I was gonna say, I mean, it doesn't sound like you show up with writer's block because some people are just like, I just don't know what to do. So you don't have much time, and
Er,
you're working multiple, jobs,
Yeah,
and you have a young child. So I take it you sit down, you get to it, right?
yeah. Early on, I did have some writer's block because I think you were talking maybe in this recent content video where like the very first time I had a blog post to write, I'm sitting and looking at the blank window and I just put in like the title of the keyword I wanted. I'm like, oh damn,
I
where
don't
do I
know.
go from here?
Yeah.
So I just started like Googling it. But now that I've written like a bunch of articles, I think if you just brute force your way through those early articles, even though they're garbage, like I went back and read some of my early
Yeah.
articles and they're really bad.
Totally.
And a lot of them haven't done that well ranking wise because I think I've just gotten better at understanding like what people actually want to read and formatting it better. I just had huge blocks of text and it was just pretty poor. But if you just kind of brute force your way through those early articles, now I feel like kind of have a strategy for it where I just kind of sit down. I know it. I know how to like research, pull it all together, and then just kind of write a really long conglomerate of the best research out there for it. I suffer more with motivation than with writer's block. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'm like, I don't want to write another really boring blog post because my niche is really boring most of the topics. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Now it sounds like it's fairly technical because you've literally said that a few times. Is it something that you can outsource, or is it too technical to do that?
I think that I could outsource because what I haven't done is I've written almost no product reviews and I've written almost no like best of posts. There are some products in this niche that I do like. Those are the products I am selling on Amazon. Although I'd love to talk to you a little bit later about Amazon because most of the things I've sold on Amazon are not the products I link to. I'd be curious what other people's experience with that is.
Sure.
But yeah, so there are some products out there, and I've written maybe 2 review posts and no best of type posts. Most of my content is just answering questions that people are asking about the niche, and then within it, I'll be like, "And my favorite this is," or whenever it's reasonable to do so, I'll just text link to something. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah, so I think what I could do is outsource some review posts of the products that I've been recommending, and that's something I am considering doing now that the site's picking up and making some money because I've written every article on my own. And this second website that I just started, I kind of picked it because I want to try to outsource some of the writing, and it's a niche that would be pretty easy to do that with.
Very cool. Okay. Now, anything else you could think of sort of like on the content side or how you're approaching it that you think would be helpful?
I mean, one thing that I've done with like writer's block stuff, and I think you probably talked about this in some of your videos, but I think I mostly got it from the income school guys, is they call it like their hit list of articles. Because when you're in the kind of the keyword research area, it's really, I think, pretty easy to find like a group of keywords. You just kind of go down that rabbit hole of finding keywords and finding KGR and just kind of getting in that zone. I think what a lot of people do is they'll find a keyword and be like, oh, I found it. And then they'll go write it and they'll stop that process and it's really inefficient. So, I mean, one thing I do is I'll sit down for like my whole hour and a half I have in the evening and it'll just be picking articles. And then I just go into WordPress and I just start a draft for each one. So they're already all there. And then when I do have writer's block and I don't know what to write, I just go and I have all those articles there and I just pick one and I'll move forward with it. That's helped me a lot, I think, because it's just much more efficient. So that saved me a lot of time.
Very good. Okay. Moving again to a new topic, link building and outreach and stuff like that. So it sounds like you haven't done too much. Can you tell us what you've done so far?
Yeah, I've done no link building at all, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just done no link building. I haven't even attempted to do anything. All I've done is just write the content and make sure that Search Console finds it.
Cool.
It is something I would like to do more of, but I purchased Income School's course, and they're more like, we understand that keywords or that backlinking is really good and helpful, but we feel like it's more efficient just to write more articles if you have a limited amount of time. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Sure. So that's just kind of the strategy I started with. Now that my website's growing up a little bit, I'd like to do some white hat backlinking because I have almost no backlinks. When I checked SEMrush, I think I had 2 from websites that like automatically do that or something. Really bad backlinks. Okay. So yeah, I think I've been kind of surprised with my results considering I've done no link building and had no one linked to my site.
Interesting. And I think, I don't know what this site is, but just from what you just mentioned, it sounds like since you approached it, I think probably from the Income School course influence, like you wrote articles that were really just helpful. Like they weren't product reviews. And then when you coupled that with a keyword golden ratio, you were able to like escalate the traffic that you were getting without having any links. And then because you wisely added some, the type of visitor that is on the site because they ask a question. So what kind of product can solve the problem that they're asking about.
Yeah. And I would still say 80 or 90% of my articles, which is higher than they recommend, but still have links in them. And I do have I have a ClickBank product that I have like a little side thing for, and I recommend sometimes. It's an ebook on my niche that I've sold, maybe made $60-$70 with that. Gotcha. Yeah. So every article has some kind of link. I usually try to put some kind of link like above the fold, like really early on. Sure. And with that, I've just captured a lot of just random Amazon purchases because people will just be like, oh, what's this? And they'll click it and they'll be like, oh, I don't care about that. And they'll go back to my article. But then I'll just grab their evening purchases of dishware and, whatever. Like one of my articles that is the one I was saying that I have a featured snippet for. It's a really weird article to have any Amazon links in. It's a really specific technical question that like, it feels weird to put an Amazon link. If I just threw one early in, I was like, oh, and you can get this on Amazon. it was probably poor strategy overall, but I did that after after the article was starting to pick up. And man, it's surprising how many people just click it,
Yeah.
early on. It's probably a bad user experience, honestly. But I've gotten a lot of Amazon sales just from, it's relatively associated. It's not that outlandish, but a lot of people just click it, and I'll capture a lot of Amazon sales from that. So
Very cool. It sounds like you have a great start to your site, Jaron. Traffic's going up even just this week. It sounds like things are popping for you. So what are your sort of midterm goals, say 6-12 months from now? Where do you want to be?
Yeah. So I think this month in March, I think Amazon alone will probably do around 200 to 250 based off of what's happened and what's happening. So I think March, 4 months in, 350 will probably be pretty reasonable. So I would have said a month ago that 6 months from now, $500 would have been great, but I think I'll hit that pretty soon. So I think by the end of the year, I'd be pretty happy if I was at 1,000 or 1,500 from this site. But my ultimate goal would be to have 2 or 3 of these sites that I put a good amount of time into and like match my current income like 2 years from now, or 2 years from when I started.
Sure. Very
would
cool.
be, which I think is reasonable to do. I've seen a lot of early success with this site, but what I don't know is, did I just stumble upon a really good niche that was really underserved, and so I've just had a lot of success because I got lucky and found the perfect niche, or is it because I'm decent at keyword research and writing these articles? That I'll find out with this new website that I just started. I've written like 5 articles on it. It's had no time to rank, but a few months from now we'll find out if I got lucky or if I'm good at this. So I'm excited to find out. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Very cool. Well, let us know in the comments if you want to get an update from Jaron. Jaron, would you come back sometime in the future for an update?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Excellent. So thanks a lot, Jaron. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I'll see you on some live streams coming up.
All right. Thanks, Doug.